Let's see if we can get the standard format. So I need HTML, and then I'm going to tab down a little bit and write the closing tag, HTML. Oops. That is not a question mark. That is a /. Yes, sir?
Does it have to be capitalized?
Luke, no, it doesn't. HTML is not a case-sensitive language. His question was, does it have to be capitalized? You are going to notice that when I begin this process, I'm going to capitalize tags, but as we move through the next 2 hours, I'm going to start the lowercase stuff. I'll try to my best. I generally capitalize reserved words or tags because it keeps them separate, but that works better in SQL than it does in HTML. Anyway, back to the original item. No, HTML is not a case-sensitive language. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go inside of here, and anything inside of the container should be tabbed in so that I can read it. Readability is important. So I'm going to tab in, and I'm going to put my opening head tag, and then I'm going to tab down and move over, and I'm going to put my closing head tag. Anything that I put inside of here will be instructions to the browser. Then I'm just going to tab down again, and we're going to put my opening body tag, and then my closing body tag. Then I'm going to save it. So if I type Alt-F, which is File, it will bring me up to the File menu. And then if I type S, that will save this document. Alt-F-S. So anytime that I make changes to it, Alt-F-S to save, anytime I make changes and save it, I should be able to refresh my browser and see those changes being reflected. So let me come back to my document. Let me go back to wherever I stored that document. This time I'm going to open it, and it should launch in a browser. I can tell that the file is open because if you look at the tab across the top, it says mywebpage.html. So it did open up my document, but there's nothing on it. Why do you think there's nothing on it? Yeah, because there's nothing inside the body container. There's nothing in there, and that's what the body container does. That's where I put stuff that I want to be displayed on my screen. So anything that I put inside of the head tag or inside the head container, instructions to the browser. There are a lot of things that I can put inside of here. For the time being, there's only one tag that we're going to concern ourselves with, just one. There are thousands, okay, maybe not thousands. There are a lot of stuff that I can put inside of here. As I said, whenever I'm inside of a container, I want to tab in, and we are going to use the title tag. So I have the opening, and I have the closing title tag. Anything I put between the opening and the closing title tag will be the title of my web page. So I'm going to say something like, this is my web page. And I'll put a couple of exclamation marks because I'm really excited about the fact that this is my web page. So I'm going to save that and then come back and refresh my browser. To refresh my browser, I can either press F5 on my keyboard or I can hit the little circle arrow. Depends upon the browser that you're using. Little circle arrow. Now notice what my tab says at the top now. Now it says, way up there at the top where it used to have the name of the file that I opened, now in the very top tab it says, this is my web page. A couple of exclamation points because I'm very excited about the fact that this is my web page. There's this TV show called The IT Crowd or The IT Crowd. It's a hilarious British show. And the idea is that they have a telephone, they are the IT support, the tech support for this British organization. They're all British. It's hilarious. Okay. Probably highly inappropriate. But anyway, the idea is there's a telephone that rings, and what they do is have you tried turning it off and on again? Shut it. Now, they actually ended up getting a recorder that when the phone would ring, something would answer and say, have you tried shutting it off? Turn the machine off, open it up again. The very first line of defense when your web page, your browser is not displaying what you just did in your text file, you have to save the text file to make sure that you saved any of your changes. You have to refresh your browser so that your browser is now refreshed to the new changes. If your browser is not displaying what you just did in your text file, shut them both down. Because the browser must be pointing at the text file you just created. First line of defense, if you are not seeing your changes reflected, shut them both down. Go back to the one, there should be just one document. We're just going to open it up in two views. The first view that I'm going to open it up in is my editor. So I'm going to open with Notepad. Then I'm going to go back to that exact same document. And I'm going to click on it and open it up with my browser. what is going to happen is half of the time when your changes are not being reflected on your web page, it's because somehow, some way, your browser's no longer pointing to that file. Maybe you accidentally saved the file under a different name and you have two of them. Maybe you're not working in the file that your browser is pointed at. So, number one line of defense, shut both the browser and the text file down. Go back to the one place where you expect that document to be and open that one file with the two formats, the text editor and the browser.